Hi there. You don't have an audio.
Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, the last official week of Wake Up Legendary here streaming on Facebook. Okay. And we've been streaming Wake Up Legendary here on Facebook every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for 4.5 years, roughly. This is, and I'll get you an exact number here, 1,012 1,257. Okay. 1257. And today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Effie, and she's going to talk to us about going from surviving to thriving and how she turned chaos into a global business. And I am excited to hear about this because so many people can probably relate to that feeling. Effie, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Dave. What an intro. Thank you for inviting me over. I'm thrilled and honored to be here.
Well,
Uh,
it's my pleasure. Where are you calling in from?
I'm in Greece. I'm in Athens right now, and it's super hot here. I don't know if it's hot where you are, but we are glowing here. And it's not from any filter, it's from the heat.
Well,
So we are surviving.
I live in Florida, in case you didn't know, and Florida is one of the hottest states in the United States of America. So, as a matter of fact, being hot on a construction site is the exact reason why I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So, we have a lot in common there, and of course, I think Greece plays into your niche in your business online, right? Helping people to move to Greece and to transition to Greece. So talk to us a little bit about how you picked that niche, why you wanted to start this business in the first place, and what were you struggling with that you're now thriving with?
Okay. I want to make the story short because everybody's life is full of ups and downs, and mine is no difference, I guess. I mean, I have 4 kids and one grandson, first of all, and I'm happy and proud about that. I've lived in 8 countries. Moving around taught me a lot. I started my business from New Zealand because
Mm,
I didn't have visa all the time. And I was providing itineraries to people. And then I thought, why don't I make this a business? And I was scratching my head, how on earth somebody makes a business? You know, where do you start? What's the first thing to do? And
mm,
this is something that I'm so grateful about what you provide with the courses and blueprints and everything, because all this valuable information, I wish I had back in time, because through the trials and errors and so many mistakes, I found my way around. So I'm in travel business actually, but because a lot of my clients ask me to relocate here to have another leg in Europe,
mm,
because some benefits through some golden visa or a digital nomad visa. So they trusted me through my traveling expertise, and they asked me to relocate, meaning, where should I live? Is it a good place for me to live in Athens or somewhere else? Is the Cycladic Islands ideal for winter? So that brought me in front of a new service, which I was not prepared. That's why my Instagram and TikTok is quite new. And on top of that, I had to struggle with my limited beliefs and struggles and inner voices and self doubts, because the surviving that you mentioned in the title has to do with my background, like. No guess there, right? So I was a divorced woman, mother, single mom for a while, then back in another marriage which didn't work. And I found myself trying to support others, but I forgot myself in this process. And I think a lot of women can connect with that. We give so much to the family, to the spouses, and we forget to protect ourselves, if you allow me to say that. So I started late, so to speak. I started when others have already done a career. But I don't regret. And if any
mm.
woman hears today and she's around 50 years old or younger, they should consider that as an advice, because um, we can provide more to our loved ones if we protect ourselves and if we care about ourselves and our dreams. And this comes up into the surface a lot when you have to deal with a business, because being an entrepreneur, and you put it so much in so many content in a raw, authentic version, and I'm so connected with that. When you run a business, you think you run a business, you have to deal with lots of inside insecurities, details that you used to cover because, you know, the employment or something else could easily hide that. Sorry, I bombard all of this information. I have so much to share for those who are open to listen,
Go.
not for any reason. I don't have anything to impress anybody. I just have mistakes and effort that I put in one step after another with resilience and flexibility. Because during COVID, for example, I had just came out of a very bad divorce and I had to find my way around, and COVID hit and traveling was flat. So I was stuck in Hungary, for example, and I had to pick up my pieces and find a way to navigate again. So it's pick up your pieces again like a phoenix and find your way around. But no matter what the niche is, no matter what your passion is, my favorite quote, if you allow me to share that with the audience, and I recently saw that from another lady who I like her journey through the business, is fuck your mood, follow the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And try to apply that, because we will find excuses, we will find things that will stop us from posting the next post, or put the video in front of us and put the camera when we are at the deepest depression or mood that we are not in mood to do that, right? So I went through all of these challenges and I'm still struggling, trust me. I'm still fighting with that every day, to put the camera in front of me and share my voice, share my message. Because so many people want to hear from somebody who did it before them, and they can connect with that and they can find value through that. And you, Dave, with your program and your team there, you provide so much, because somebody will think that they will buy a blueprint, for example, or some course. There's so much behind. You over deliver. It's amazing what you're doing, and I really see that as a role model for a business. I'm trying to do the same, because what I see from people who approach me for my services, they don't know what they don't know, so they don't do the right questions. So if you don't have the right question, how you will have the best answer for you, right? And this latest challenge that you gave us for the AI, with all these interesting questions that you make the AI kind of become your secretary and ask you these details that they are deep down there, and you tend to push them down just to be out there and provide service and sell things.
Yeah.
They will come. They will come in the surface, because the sales will get stuck. Your self-esteem will be, low. Something is off, because you haven't addressed these details within yourself and your business.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And a lot of what you're sharing, people can relate. Obviously, from the fuck your feelings, follow the plan, to the to just to a lot of the other vulnerable stuff that you shared, and I appreciate you for sharing that. What if you could go back and start over today? Would you change anything? I would assume that you you embrace your journey, but is there something that you know now that you didn't, and it would have helped you, that you could share with somebody that may be running into the same challenge?
I would say that the hesitance, this reluctance to be, out there and say your truth, your message, and expect to be perfect.
Okay.
It cannot be perfect.
What's been the hardest thing for you to share? I mean, when you talk about sharing yourself, sharing your story, I mean, what have you shared that's been therapeutic, and also what have you shared? And when I say therapeutic, it's like it felt good. You were afraid to say it, and then you said it, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And then what are you saying? What have you also said that, and let me ask it this way. What have you said that's therapeutic, and did becoming vulnerable in those ways and being more authentic on camera, has that also helped your business? Has that helped you reach and connect with people?
It's interesting because it's funny. You will find it funny, but my English was not like that. When I started the business, I was crying in front of the laptop, trying to find the words and put them in that way to deliver the message. Whether it
Really?
was absolutely,
How
absolutely.
long ago was that your English was that bad that you were struggling that much?
6, 7 years, and I'm still sometimes. I don't know if you know the
Yeah,
say.
of course, but
You forget both languages, you know.
yeah,
And when you live in countries that English is not their first language as well, the communication goes to the deepest and most basic level of English, because English is both of our language to communicate. So our discussion was, should we go there? Yes, let's do that. It was kind of robotic, so there was no improvement. So to attract an audience from the States, from example, or Australia, I had to enrich my vocabulary, which was another challenge on top of what my message was. So when I had the first group in Greece and I was touring them around, I didn't want to show them the same old thing and the tourist part like Oppa and Souvlaki and Gyros and da da da. I wanted to show them my authentic Greece, right? So the moment I relaxed and I say, this is me, and I will make mistakes, and I will say some funny things. Let's laugh together. I don't mind. Self-sarcasm is healthy. It's not offensive to anybody, right? So I shared my truth, and I keep remind myself that because I still make mistakes, and I have a list of phrases that I share now with my clients, and they laugh because they find it funny.
mhm,
But trust me, the stress level was big, especially when it is written or you cannot take it back, because people don't have the patience to understand that we are not coming from the same background. The stress level and the anxiety and all of that, whatever package anybody carries, when they come to a different country, whether it's traveling or relocating, there's so much emotions behind. It's not the logistics about let's find the house, let's fix the visa, where is the bank, let me fix this. And the paperwork will be done. You
yeah,
will feel lonely. I think I have mentioned that before because I find lots of similarities with relocation and business, because everything is new,
yeah,
right?
right,
In business, when you jump into a business model, you find everything new. Same as relocation. You go to a different country, yes, you will need a house, you will have the essentials, but everything is different.
yeah,
Same business, right? And you will feel out of your water. You will feel lonely. You will need support. You will want to jump back to the safety that you thought you had, right?
yeah.
And forget what brought you here, why you had to move, why you had to make this decision to start a business. All of that is so interesting to me because apart from the service and apart from the product that I deliver, the service, I should say, I'm curious about the human interaction. I'm very passionate about how people and culture, all of this fascinates me. And I think it's no question why I lived in so many countries and how I made that wrapped up in a product, in a service that I give to people. And I hope they get benefit because it's different to find a local who never moved away from home and to speak to somebody who have done the steps before you, right? Same with
Let me ask you this, Effie. Did you do travel? Did you do travel agent work before you got into doing this? And what? How did you discover that you could um, turn your travel knowledge into a business? Was that something that you just you saw by realizing that you already live in Greece and a lot of people want to move to Greece? Or were you, like I said, were you already a travel agent? Because one of the big things I want to make sure that I get out of you here is that one of the biggest challenges we have in this whole education process with people is teaching them that they have something of value within them, or they're capable of accessing information that they could package and sell. Okay. Because that's what we do. We sell information. That's what we're here to do, guys. If you just stumbled upon this live stream and you're wondering, how do these people make money? Why are they? Because we sell courses, coaching, and events, and we do affiliate marketing. Those are the 4 main ways that we make money online. At least I have over the past 16 years, and that's what I teach here. And so most people struggle with identifying something they can package and sell, right? And so they just default to doing what everybody else is doing, and usually that doesn't work out. And I've seen videos. I even watched one this morning about somebody saying that, it's you're not succeeding because you don't have the right offer, that's not actually really true. It's an individual thing. If other people are succeeding at something and you're not, it's not the offer, it's you, right? And that's a tough pill to swallow. It's hard to tell people that, because that means they got to work. So we just tell them fluff so we can just keep them on the hamster wheel. And the truth is that the best way that all of you want to for you to build a business right now is to either build a personal brand or a faceless page, a theme page, right? So in your case, it would be Effie, the, Greece relocator, or it would be relocate to Greece, just a theme page, right? And that would be your initial kind of play, like, that's your front door. That's your storefront on Facebook. And you should have a storefront on Facebook, and you should have a storefront on Instagram, and you should have a storefront on TikTok and YouTube, right? And then those storefronts, they're kind of like what you're doing at that storefront is you're flipping a sign. You ever seen the guys on the road who are flipping a sign? We're all flipping our signs, right? We're flipping our signs out in front of our stores going, hey, free lead magnet, free training webinar, free this, free that, and so, so what did you initially come online? Like, how did you identify that you could do this relocation to Greece niche? That's what I want to know. And I want to help the listeners also, because that's what we teach in the AI Business Builder Challenge. We're most people think that legendary marketer thinks AI is its savior. And it's like, no, we're not on the AI bandwagon. We're just simply using AI to extract information actually from us, and then help us to discover all of the gold that's within us that we could package and sell. That's what we're teaching you in the AI Business Builder Challenge. So if you haven't gone through it yet, go through it. But how did you discover that you could do the relocating to Greece niche?
It's an interesting, again, question. And I think I can break it in two parts. Because the first one is, when I used to live abroad, I was observing their questions about Greece. And because I had to homeschool my kids, another realization I came through is that I shouldn't take anything for granted. Because every time I came back to Greece, I had the perspectives of the people who were living here about the life I had there, and vice versa. People were thinking or assuming things. So I had to invest into how people live here. What do they like? And how can I not necessarily impress them, but deliver something valuable for them? Because I respect those who travel from that far, spend money and time to experience something that we all used to say authentic. What is authentic? We are all authentic, but can be fake, right? How you can match these desires. you have to read a little bit of people and match it with what you want to deliver, because I don't want to provide services that doesn't suit me, because it's going to be fake. People will sense it, right? So I'm looking for those who are looking for me, kind of. And at the same time, I find if this niche is out there, because it's important to understand if there is a need out there, then it's a matter of marketing and putting the right funnels and put the right keywords so that people will find you eventually. So I don't take anything for granted. I learn, and at the same time, when I'm flexible to change it, because I don't serve copy paste. Now, by saying that, what you taught me through your courses, all of this, which is vast and endless. I mean, it's so much information there. Because I try to step into the digital product, but I haven't figured it out yet. Traveling have a roof, and I found myself in a bus once years ago, and I was thinking, I'm 50, I'm almost 50 back then. How long can I sustain doing that? Yes, I sell bespoke experiences, high-end clientele, but at the same time, I wanted freedom to go see my grandson. And what if something goes wrong with me? If everything is tailor-made to my persona, I'm stuck, right? I have to expand my business and create parallel income. That's why I discovered the affiliate marketing. But because I'm a travel agent and not a travel blogger, a lot of the information doesn't apply for me. So I try to create some sort of product, but it didn't suit me. So I went back to what speaks to my heart and how can I improve it with the marketing skills that you teach us to make it and scale it up and provide valuable information. Now, I'm still trying to find, and I'm open for ideas, guys. If you have anything, send me. What can I offer so that it doesn't require necessarily my presence there, right? Because of AI, I'll give you another example. AI, if you ask them, build me an itinerary about Greece, it will give you day 1, day 2, day 3, but it will be full of mistakes and a lot of things that it's impossible to find out yourself if you want the authentic experience. How on earth you will find the local who will host something in his backyard with real organic food and live music just for you and your friends? You can't. You will
Yeah.
probably find set up, touristic, next group. And this is not my niche. Others have done it better than me for years, so it's for them. I don't provide that.
Yeah. No,
I
I'm fascinated by what you're doing. And I've got another client who's a travel agent turned kind of travel concierge. And yeah, I mean, it's an interesting niche, and the challenge that you have in that niche is the same challenge that everybody has, which ultimately is, how do you create a following of people, and people who want your content, because I think there's two types of people who are going to follow your content. There's the type of people that are not going to be your clients, but they're going to be your fans. If we think of Gary Vaynerchuk, one of the great marketing people of this modern era, and some say a bit of an oracle about social media, right? Makes predictions that oftentimes come true. If you look at his kind of rise in his business, it was by serving people who weren't his ultimate ideal customer, right? And what I mean by that is he made content for kids and young people because they were the ones who were really going to share his content, like his content. For example, he made a lot of content about garage sailing and flipping stuff on eBay. Well, his ultimate clients are Dove and Coca-Cola. Like, he's got a Vayner Media marketing agency that he does marketing for those brands, but those brands are not going to like his post. They're not going to share his post. They're not going to help build his brand. So he created content for young people mostly, and entrepreneurs, and that content helped build his personal brand, sell books, and then ultimately become an authority figure. And when you're an authority, when you have a big personal brand, deal flow comes to you endlessly and effortlessly. That's one thing that people don't understand is when you're known, when you like, because if you guys have never had a successful reputation, then you don't know what you don't know what you don't know. You don't know, like, the struggle that you're experiencing right now with like getting no customers. There's people who have a personal brand who they have too many customers, too many options, too many people that want to do business with them. And the difference is just simply that they have a personal brand, i.e., they've gotten followers on Instagram, right? It's really not rocket science, but it seems like rocket science, right? So I think the question that you have to ask yourself with your content is how can I get people to share my content and engage with my content and build my brand, even if they're not going to become my clients, right? Because the people who are going to become your clients may actually never even uh, comment on your stuff, right? Kind of the same thing about what I've done in my career, right? Is I've leveraged the viral power of affiliates, right? Because I got into affiliate marketing and became an affiliate, right? And so instead of going out and learning paid ads and spending tons of money on paid ads, which I tried, which I never really knew how much it was going to cost me to acquire a customer, right? Like if it like for like our $17 AI business builder challenge, you're usually going to pay about $75 to $100 to acquire that customer, meaning to get that person to buy that $17 thing. So you have to make the rest of your money back on the back end. That's why lifetime value of a customer matters. And CAC, cost to acquire a customer, or CPA, cost per acquisition, same thing. Your cost per acquisition has to be lower than your lifetime value. That's how you make money, right? But most people are not willing to advertise because you got to put more out up front. And I didn't want to put more out up front either. So that's how I started to allow affiliates to promote my stuff. And the thing is that many people, for me anyways, there was a lot of people that promoted my stuff that never made a sale, but they still promoted it. It still got out there. And I actually think that it benefited them. I think it was a win-win because they probably learned something about themselves, and hopefully they're still doing it, or hopefully they got better at it, even if they didn't make a sale. But the point is that I kind of use that same concept, right? And so the question is for all of you, and you especially, as I'm looking at your stuff and thinking about your approach, it's like, how can you create content that's not that? And also, I think a big thing to do is we don't test formats enough. You guys are about to see me when we shut down Wake Up, like we stopped doing Wake Up Legendary on Facebook here. I'm going to start doing YouTube, right? Like that's where we're going to post every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time and go live on the YouTube channel. But I'm going to test so many different formats. Like I have no idea what's going to work on YouTube. I really don't. And I've had my YouTube channel for 15 years, and it's the number one regret I have, not going more all in on it. But I have no idea what's going to work. So I'm going to have to test a lot of different formats, meaning styles of videos, in order to see what's going to work and what's going to kind of get what I want, which is a lot of people who are never going to buy, watching, sharing, and engaging, to then push people who are going to buy into my world, right? And I do that by both creating content that's for my ideal customer and then also going a little bit broader, right? Creating content that does have a chance to pull in more and different types of people. And so in this case, with you, your page really looks very personal brandish, and it looks very kind of all about it's like the question that I think you got to ask, and this is only through testing, right? Is like, is somebody who's looking to relocate to Greece, is that somebody who is going to respond to kind of very homemade looking content, or do they need to see something a little bit more professional, right? Do they need to see content that's a little bit more like, like, I don't know, like, this doesn't have a lot of your family in it, right? So that would be one example of a little bit more professional, right? But then it also, if I scroll through, does it lack humanity? Like, who's behind the content? Like, if I'm going to relocate to Greece, then I want to be able to kind of, if it is going to be like a personal brand like this, I want to be able to really kind of connect with the person. And I see that your face is present here, but it doesn't look like you've gotten much into talking on your videos, right? So you need to, right? You need to push yourself to talk in your videos, because that's the thing that's going to get you to, and it's just the same content posted over there. That's the thing that's going to get people to trust you, right? There's nowhere for them to really kind of, get to know you. You know what I mean? And I think they have to. I think they have to get to know you. I think when people think about doing something nowadays, they think of doing business with one of two people. One is an agency, like, is a professional company that you're going to call, and you're going to usually find them through like Google. Like, you're going to look at the reviews and look at the business and that, right? And the other way that you're going to find something or someone is that you're going to connect to somebody and follow somebody on social media. And you're going to either do business with them or buy a course or some sort of coaching or consulting that they offer, right? So the if they're more prone on social media to connect with a human, right? That's usually what they do, right? Then if I'm going to move to Greece, I want to know who I'm talking to. I want to have more of a relationship with you. And you're such a beautiful communicator, even if you think you have broken English, you need to talk more. So me, as the person who's wanting to go to Greece, can have can listen and learn first in a longer format, not these short form videos, in a longer format, for me to be able to learn and understand and begin to trust you, that you can be my guide throughout this process. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, Dave, and thank you for your feedback. Your insights are spot on. I mean, I have it in my stomach. I'm trying to understand, not understand, to implement all of these things. I know I have to put it out there and have my voice and all of that. Oh, trust me, I'm struggling. It's not easy.
Yeah, well,
But
but don't become addicted to struggle, right? Because that can be like, for most of you, and especially because you're in this limiting belief journey, I would remove that word from your vocabulary totally and completely, right? Because if I'm relocating to Greece, whether you know it or not, the biggest part of your marketing is the energy that you put out, right? And this is becoming more and more visceral, like you can feel it, because things are becoming more artificial, right? So yeah, people need to feel your vibes, right? And if I'm moving to Greece, like, think about the energy and think about the whole process, right? Do I want this, if I'm going to be moving to Greece, do I want this to be a struggle, right? Because if that's what you're going through as the guide, then that's what you're going to be projecting unknowingly, right? And that's why I told you at the beginning, don't apologize, right? Part of moving to Greece would be I want to hear your accent. I want you to own it and embrace it. I don't want you to apologize. I'm moving to get away from that. I want more you know, I want more accent. I want more, and I want you to own it. I want it to be beautiful. I want to feel like I'm going to, because America, especially if you're talking to expats, we are all stressed and struggling over here. It is a rat race, right? So your energy, and I'm not saying your content, but your energy as you bring your face and your brand out to the forefront more, which you need to do, just start going live. Nobody's going to be there at first. Go live 100 times over the next 100 days, somehow, some way. If you want to grow and you want to get better, just like you are right now today, we're live, we're talking. This is how you get better on camera. You got to go live, guys. Go live 100 times and see how much more comfortable you are on camera. But that you're not going to get any sales. You're not going to do any business, but you're going to develop the persona that you need. And you're going to get over this fear that you have about whether it be your accent, all this shit. And you need to really step into your kind of divine self, and just realize that until you do that, you're gonna continue to struggle, right? Until you kind of do the thing that's actually the easiest and most freeing thing for you to do, you know, you're just going to continue to struggle and be kind of afraid to put yourself out there, and you'll be stuck in the getting ready to get ready stage, or a half-ass stage, which is worse, which is where you're doing work but you're not all in. So there's things that you won't do, right? The way that I work, there's nothing I won't do. Like, I'm in a mindset to where there's nothing I won't do. Like, there's nothing I won't try at least once. And, you know, that's a good mindset to be in, right? It's not only a fun mindset to be in life, but it's also a fun mindset to be in marketing, because if you're willing to try anything at least once, you will 100% be comfortable with everything that you try, unless you, for some reason, it hurts you or something, because you'll just realize that it wasn't as big as what you were making it out to be. Okay. And so I hopefully this episode and this feedback, it gives you a little bit more confidence, because it is your time to step into your power now. I think you've been messing around long enough, and put yourself out there and let people really get to know not only the country, but the people who are waiting for them in the country. I need to know you. I need to hear from you. And I need to, you know, I need to have a voice that I can trust. You are that, but right now you're hiding and not letting anybody hear that.
I have no words. You're spot on. You're spot on of all of my insights, you know, my thoughts that I keep postponing to do that. Because every time the camera opens, I mean, and I speak to people, I'm confident. Somehow I have connected the camera, live, self, you know, all of this. So clumsy, so awkward. And I hate voice like everybody else and all of that. But I know I have to overcome that, because my message is bigger than my fears or my, you know, worry that I don't sound good or my hair is messy or whatever. And you are a great example about doing that, because I love your pure, upfront, blunt. And we are like that. Greeks are like that. Actually, I warn people when they come here that I'm not going to sugarcoat them the reality when they come to Greece. I'm going to show how they will live their life here, because eventually they will become locals. So what's the point to trick them and hide some parts? And right, but I'm good at delivering that to one-on-one or more people, but not alone in front of the camera. But I will do that, Dave. And thank you for giving all of this information. You validate something. It's there and hanging above my head as a big cloud for a long time now.
Well, and there's ways that you can also like your appearance more on camera too, right? Like, so if you don't like the way that you look on camera, then don't stop being on camera. Change the way that you look, right? So it's like I was getting fat a couple of months ago, right? And I saw it every time I came on camera. I was like, look at this big fat chipmunk face. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here and it's like, damn, man, it's like, golly, I'm older, I'm fatter, I'm grayer. And it's like, shit, man, and it's like I can either sit around and mope around about that, which I did for like a year. I have for like a year, but I never stopped going live. See, that's the thing that I think is you can bitch and moan and cry and be sad about it, but just don't stop doing whatever. Don't stop opening your store. And then, so now, I'm trying to get in shape and it feels good. You know what I mean? And I feel like I look better because I'm dropping some weight and that's the other thing is that I think that we get all of us, all people, me included, we get into this whiny little state where it's like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. And it's like, then fucking change it. You know what I mean? Like you got one life to live. Like how do I look complaining or pitying myself about something that I can change? That I literally have control over. Like I was eating 2 fucking bowls of ice cream at night, dude. And it was, oh, I'm taking my kids to have ice cream. We're doing something family oriented. And it's like, and I would go up and get an ice cream and then I'd go back around for a second ice cream. And I was like, dude, I'm out of control. Like I am out of control and I look like shit. And it's like, so I think that there's also just this whole like, I got to stop being a whiny little baby about the way I look or whatever, or way I sound and change it. Like do something about it. And you know what? You may not be a supermodel. I'm not going to be a supermodel, but you know what's kind of cool is to look at yourself on video from 3 months ago or a month ago or 6 months ago and look at yourself on video now if you've actually done something and be like, damn, I look better. Yeah, it's actually actually feel sexy. You're like, oh shit, So it's also like if you feel like shit, do something about it. If you think you look like shit, do something about it. Like for me, it's like this is an opportunity for accountability. You know what I mean? This is not a place for me to run away from. It's a place for me to run to, and I can kill multiple birds with one stone here. Like I can both build a business and I can use this thing as a way to hold myself accountable because I don't like the way that I look in pictures and on camera. So I'm going to do something about it. And then simultaneously, I'm also getting some therapeutic value from sharing and stopping keeping everything stuffed inside. I mean, honestly, nowadays, you can just use your audience. Nowadays, people are using their audience just to vent and literally get things off of their chest. And you know what? Their audience is like, thank you for sharing something so valuable. Like there's nothing you can do to really put off your audience these days unless you say something or do something racist, bigoted, like that's the kind of stuff. But anything else, you can you can damn near show up on camera naked. You can you can not comb your hair. You can be fat. You can be ugly. You can be and people will go, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for showing up. Like anything besides those things I listed work. But the things that don't work are the things that I just listed. Those will get you canceled, and they should. But then here's the other big one: hiding or not doing anything because of some insecurity I have. So that's why it's like you talking about limiting beliefs and kind of going from surviving to thriving. That's kind of what I've heard about your story. And this, I think, is the next step for you. And of course, it's been what my journey's been too, so I can relate. So anyways, great convo. Final thoughts. What have you learned about yourself throughout this process that you didn't expect?
That people trust me and I should trust myself too. I
Very
see
nice.
that a lot. I have people that they've never see me. I mean, when again, my reviews speaks volume, and I know it's not much, but it's important. It's a big start. It's a good start, right? Because I have 10 years in the business, and yes, I went through challenges. I survived. I'm still here. I keep improving myself. People see that when they talk to me. Why don't I share my truth out there? Why expect them to find out after digging and searching and through this chaos? If, like I said, they're looking me, I'm looking at them. I have to make it easier for them to find me. I need to
And to give you
speak my
money. Make it easy for people to give you money. That's the one thing too. I want you to, this is another thing that I sense with you, is that you have a hard time taking money. Like, you make it difficult for people to give you money. Does that resonate with you? Like, there's some sort of a limiting belief around money that you either feel like you don't deserve it, or not credible enough yet, are not qualified enough yet. Does that resonate? Damn it, she froze right as I asked the question of the day. Hopefully that's her and not me freezing. Son of a gun. Look at her. I mean, she's doing the hair. Is she froze or am I froze? Anybody on the comments want to let me know? Who's froze here? Her or me? Son of a gun. Oh, man. Unbelievable. What a question, right? Teed that right up. Teed that right up. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my internet, friends. Oh, she's frozen. Okay, Jasmine. Thank you very much. I'm still here. Okay, just wanted to make sure. She is. Okay, thanks, Kim. All right. All right, my friends. Well, I asked her the big question and she skedaddled. Okay. No, her internet gave out. What a powerful interview and a powerful episode. So this is, I wish we could get her back to answer that question, but perhaps we will give her a chance to come back and follow up on the conversation. Perhaps we'll even shoot a video about it. But what a question, right, Maria? Like, and what a question for all of you to marinate on today is that, do you feel unqualified, uncredible, unworthy to accept money? And if you do, what are you doing about it? First of all, do you even recognize it? Do you realize it? And if so, can you accept that? Does that feel like it fits? And if it does, what are you going to do about that? How do you get more comfortable with money, accepting money, and making it simple, easy, and fun for people to pay you? Ultimately, that's the goal in business, right? All right, my friends, we'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode of Wake Up Legendary, but not before we bring back Effie to answer the final question. Do you remember what it was?
Of course, I remember. My phone somehow heated up and said, no, you have to cool it down before you use it again. And I was thinking, what a great timing when you had that very strong question about limited beliefs around money, right? So there, to answer the question, it's there. I know that I sell in a higher price, but I know that I over deliver as well. Now, I might not be able to advertise it as such. So I need to market it better so that people understand the value I provide before they discover it, when they already have paid for that. This is a different story, I guess.
Let me ask you a question. How much, if you help me to move to Greece right now, how much?
The first consultation is 590 euros. And it will
how
give
much
you
if I'm just like, yo, I don't need the consultation. I know you. I like you. I saw you on Dave Sharpe show. I trust you. I mean, I'm ready to come. And I've been looking for somebody. How much right now?
We organize a scouting trip together. But first we identify your lifestyle, what city suits you, and I give you the pros and cons for every city, and depending on the duration of your trip, we narrow it down. Before you arrive, I will do the groundwork for you so that if you want to visit any listings, any properties for rent or buying, I already have organized that. And I know this is a lot of work and it's not copy paste. It cannot be copy paste because everybody's different. So in a way, I don't sell expensive. I don't sell it in an expensive price. But I want to help people, and I want them to understand what I provide. And
your pitch, and I know now you're getting into explaining mode. You went from kind of like telling me about the service, which I loved, like that mode that you were in there until you kind of took a breath and were like, but right. It's like, that's who needs, I mean, your product needs to be 50. You need to have $100,000 package. Really. Absolutely. Absolutely. You need to have $100,000 package. You need to, the people that let me give you one little nugget before we let you go. Okay. You are likely going to have a lot happier of a career and make a lot more money serving a wealthy client and a lot less of them than you will if you try to serve every single person out there, every Tom, Dick, and Harry who's going to nickel and dime you and want to get everything for free. There is some truth to the client who bought something for $5 who has 50 questions and the person who bought something for $5,000 and said wire send. It's very true. I mean, I can tell you that now from selling, a lot of things on the internet at a lot of different prices. You need to have a high, like premium priced, not high ticket. You need to have a premium priced hands-on service that caters to the ultra wealthy as well, or the wealthy, as well as your other wares. And, you may, and I'd like to check back with you. I'd like you to continue to kind of keep me posted, and perhaps have you back on the show here. But there's marinate on that when we teach high ticket, when we talk about there's 3 ways to make money inside of a business. 1 is to get more customers. 2 is to do repeat business with the same customers. And 3 is to sell higher ticket prices or products inside of a product pipeline or a value ladder. And so, somebody who's making that move, sure, a lot of people are going to be looking to make that expat move, but you also need to have something for people that got the dough, because you need to think outside of your realm of understanding. Do you know what I mean? Like you said this before, you don't know what you don't know. Well, guess what? You don't also know what it's like to be a wealthy person, and a wealthy person's willing to write a check that would make you feel sick to your stomach, and it's nothing to them just to get something taken care of. And so marinate on that and understand that there's a wide variety of people that you can serve with your services. I'm not talking about your content here. I'm talking about your services, right? And one client at $100,000 would be, 100 clients at 1,000, or 200 clients at 500, right? If you do, let's just say you do 200 consultations, right? That's a lot of work. Or you just have one client that's like, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to come. So, I mean, if that means that you also need to have presence in the place where those people are looking, which is actually on Google, right? Which is, they are searching. You do need to have a site. It does need to be well reviewed. You do need to have that optimized, because people are, that's where the wealthy people are going to go to find stuff. And your best investment right now in advertising is going to be on Google Ads. So you can get your link at the top when somebody says, Greece travel agent, or Greece, move to Greece, relocate to Greece, whatever the keywords are. You need to know what the keywords are that people type into Google, and maybe even Chat GPT, right? Long tail things, because even though you're advertising on Google, people write the same things into Google, like long tail questions and stuff. And if you even start out with $5 or $10 a day in advertising, just to get your website landing page up there on the top searches of Google, so you don't get buried and you don't have to wait years to try to get your website to get ranked. Just advertise and see $5 a day. Just see what kind of clicks you get and see if you can collect some emails in exchange for something, a download something, and see if you can get some clients on the phone and talk to them. You got to talk to people. You got to find out what they're looking for, what they're willing to pay. Like, you got to do a significant amount of research. And that all is done through conversations with the actual potential client.
You're so right, Dave. I used to give a consultation, 15 minutes consultation for free. And then I regret it because a lot of people abuse that. And then I felt like I was diminishing my value there, although I wanted to
You
offer
could
it.
still do it for free. You just qualify them better. Just qualify them better inside of a questionnaire. And then if they answer a question, you can pre-email them and say, look, I give these free consultations away for people who are at this stage at the least. It doesn't seem like you are, so I don't want to waste my time or yours. And then they would, and you say, here's plenty of other amazing things that you could get. If I've misassumed or misunderstood your position, please re-clarify. But you need to know that you don't have to show up to a free call for somebody who appears to be unqualified, especially if you are, especially if you kind of say that on the page. Like, don't sign up for this if you're not at least at this, or don't have not at least set $10,000 aside to bet, whatever your criteria is. As long as you're upfront that you're only looking to talk with serious people, it's not deceptive, or it's not like you don't owe everybody your time and services. This is the, you know, everybody's not an equal customer because everybody doesn't act equally. Right? Some people are going to give you money. Some aren't, right?
Yeah.
They're very different.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, re-listen to this, take those things down, see if they, see if you can get them implemented fast. And I think that you're going to go far with this, both on your own path, and then of course continuing to get ideas from me and us here. But thanks for coming on the show. And
thank you, Dave. Thank you. That was amazing. And your feedback, wow, I didn't expect that. You gave me free insights here. So much valuable information about my business model and plan. Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, hell, that's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? That's literally my job. So, all right, my friend, stay legendary. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
You too. Take care. All the best.
All right, my friends, you can find and follow. I took you guys over to her TikTok, but def.relocating, DEF, def.relocating on TikTok, and definitely .relocating on Instagram, Effie. My friends, thanks for being here with us today and every day that you've been with us on nearly 1,300 episodes of Wake Up Legendary. We will be back here tomorrow for another episode. But this will be the last week that we're streaming live on Facebook. We will be going over to YouTube. We're going to send lots of emails about it and all the things, so don't you worry. And of course, be posted on the page and everything like that. So, all right, my friends, it's growth time. Let's get to work. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here. Peace.